Okay, it's 6:30. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the City Council meeting for Monday, June 26, 2023. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Roll call, please.
Snow.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Wozniak.
Here.
Wilms.
Here.
Fowler.
Here.
Hanschel.
Here.
Mayor Flynn is here.
Here. Thank you. First order of business is citizen input. We have one person signed up to speak, Kent Estes of 16 Cambrian Drive.
Good evening, City Councilman and women. When I came in here, I was very much against the ordinance for the change in sewer. But after talking to several of the councilmen, I'm realizing that there was simply a lack of clarity in the way it was written. And so, let me ask you all a question, if I may. I live in a house that has a functioning septic system. There is a sewer line that runs right down on the other side of the street. So if you pace it off from my front yard there, it's probably 10 paces maximum. Will I be required, if I do not sell the house, if I stay in that house until I kick the bucket, I believe is the term, will I be required to hook up to the existing sewer system?
Don't provide an answer for that. I can generally say that it only applies on a sale.
You got voted in.
So that's none of that changed. The only part that changed is what's in the ordinance that's before us tonight regarding the location. The timing requirement that's been in place has not changed. That's why it's not in the ordinance.
Well, I know y'all don't hear this often, but I'm happy.
Okay, good.
I think it was just, there's a lot of misinformation going around. So, I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next subject is council member reply. Anyone would like to reply? Okay. Next subject is action on the minutes of May 22, 2023. Is there any comment or a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve. Second.
That was Mr. Fowler and Mr. Hanschel. A roll call vote.
Councilmember Hanschel.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Wilms.
Yes.
Fowler.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Snow.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Next subject is the reports. We had a financial report for the period ending April 30, 2023. And I believe our city clerk has placed 6 copies in the back there if anybody would like a hard copy. It is on the website, the city website, under departments, under finance. And you can get them there on a regular basis. So the financials are very good so far this year. Our revenue is up 17% over budget, and our expenditures are down 11% below budget. That's through April 30. So we feel pretty good about our position so far this year. Next issue is old business. Ordinance amending
Mayor.
section 28-1 sewer.
Mayor, we need, the chair needs to entertain a motion.
Oh, okay.
Suspend
I'm
the
sorry. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules of order and procedure to allow all ordinances on the agenda to be read by title only.
So moved.
Second.
That was Mr. Wilms and Mr. Snow. Roll call vote.
Council members Wilms,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Snow,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Hanschel.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Thank you for that. Under old business ordinance, amending section 28.1 sewer connections required of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to require a sanitary sewer connection when service becomes available in front of or in the side or rear of a house or adjoining lot and for other purposes. And this is third reading. Is there any discussion?
This is the amended version that was
Yes.
presented at the last meeting. So,
I'd like to make a motion to approve it. Second.
That was Mr. Fowler and Mr. Hanschel. Roll call vote.
Council members Snow,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wilms,
yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Under new business, the next one is an ordinance providing for the inapplicability of occupancy limits in short-term rentals for up to 5 reservations or lease arrangements made on or before December 19, 2022, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. And I believe this issue was rendered moot by today's court ruling.
Just briefly, most of you understand this, but the court today granted a preliminary injunction to the plaintiffs in the short-term rental lawsuit challenging the ordinance. We believe we intend to appeal that to the Arkansas Supreme Court, and obviously we disagree with that, but we absolutely respect the judge's ruling on that. Based on that, however, my recommendation is that obviously the ordinance at this point cannot be enforced, and we cannot require permits. We're basically in a standstill on that. My recommendation is to you, do not make any further changes to it. Don't do anything to it. Let's let this play out in the courts. And then if we end up getting that reversed, then we can come back and look at whatever you might want to look at. I just, since I'm already got the microphone on this topic, I did get a draft of the order, and I wish, one of the disadvantages I have here is that the judge did not provide a lot of rationale for the ruling. The judge, and I'll go ahead and just provide this to you, based on argument of counsel, the law cited, this is a paraphrase, the law cited by both plaintiff and defendant in their filings, testimony and evidence, that the plaintiffs have a private property right that is protected by the Arkansas Constitution as well as the United States Constitution, and that ordinance 2022-18 of the City of Bella Vista, as currently written, violates the plaintiff's rights as individual property owners, thereby constituting irreparable harm for purposes of injunctive relief. The judge did not go into how or as to what particular property right is violated. So if we had had a little more guidance, that it was, say, the occupancy, or it was the inspection, or if it was in relation to the sewer septic issue, and we knew that, I could be in a better position to tell you some things you might look at wanting to do, but I just simply can't tell you that now because of the open-ended nature of the ruling. All I can tell you is that the entire thing has been struck at this point, and so we're not going to be taking permits, we're not going to be doing inspections. It's everything as if none of this had happened in terms of how the people are going to be dealing with this for now, and we will continue in court, and if circumstances change, I'll obviously tell you. So, but we do, in order to clear the agenda, someone needs to offer a motion to table indefinitely.
Motion to table indefinitely.
Second.
That was Wendy Hughes and Mr. Fowler. Roll call vote.
Was it Fowler or was it Hanschel, the second?
me.
Oh, it was, I'm sorry, okay. All right, council members Snow,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Mayor, could I ask a question regarding this particular matter?
Okay.
When would a refund to the people who have obtained permits at this point be in order? And if not, when would it be in order?
No, it's not in order because the matter is still in litigation and you have not repealed the ordinance. So you, did you hear me? Sorry. Permits would not be in order at this time because the ordinance has not been repealed and the matter is still in litigation. So everything is just on hold because if we get a ruling favorable to us in the future, then they will have paid and everything just rolls on. If we get a negative ruling at a higher court, then my recommendation to you at that time would be to repeal the ordinance. And if you repeal the ordinance, and we have to do that, then my recommendation to you is going to be to set up a mechanism to refund the permits. But we are not there yet.
Your microphone, I don't believe, is working.
It's working just fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just have trouble hearing him, but no, it works fine.
They can turn me up. I don't have the volume control. Sorry about that.
Question.
I'm gonna have to sit you down there.
Larry?
A question for Counselor. That was a preliminary ruling today from the judge. Will we be getting more detail back from the judge on this decision?
No, I don't anticipate anything further from the local judge. This is preliminary injunction. And so what I read to you was her ruling. And so that is the ruling we would appeal. And of course, we have many arguments to make. And we would fully expect the Supreme Court would provide a detailed rationale. I just don't have, I just can't give you more details as to why. That's what I'm telling you. There's really no why that's laid out in the ruling today.
So are we at liberty then to proceed with an appeal to that decision?
Once she signs this order, which she's not done yet, we have 30 days in which to appeal from that order.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And how long would it take for it to get to the appeal process to the court?
Easily 6 months, I would say. I don't know how the death of Justice Wynn is going to affect their calendar. As you know, one of the justices died over the weekend. I don't know to what extent that's going to delay their decision-making process in the future, whether there'll be new justice. I mean, there will be a new justice at some point. How all that's going to work, that's totally out of our control. But I think it's going to be some time.
Okay.
One more question.
Go ahead, Larry.
The last question would be, as we have, if you will, social behavior rules in our code, like parking, and noise, and a whole bunch of other things.
All that remains fully in effect.
We are at liberty to enforce those, correct?
Absolutely. All your noise ordinance, parking, all that is in effect. The taxes still need to be paid on the short-term rentals, the A&P tax, the sales tax, all that is still untouched by any of this.
Okay.
So, yes, so if people have a noise problem, if there's public intoxication, drinking, carousing, whatever it is, people contact the police, and the rest of our ordinances remain fully in force and effect.
Thank you.
We need a roll call vote.
We did. On the last.
On the tabling, we already
Yes.
voted? Okay. Yeah, these were questions after the fact. Next ordinance is amending Section 109.42 variances of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to permit administrative review and approval of the increase in size of permanent signs up to 10%, and for other purposes. Staff requests third and final reading. The reason staff requested third and finals, there wasn't much protest or questions at the work session, so they thought it would be appropriate to ask for that.
I have a comment to make, I guess.
Sure.
This is a day late and a dollar short. We should have been doing this at the time that the Board of the Planning Commission, and they wear the hat of the Board of Zoning Adjustment, addressed an appeal by one of our commercial residents in Bella Vista, which precipitated this amendment to the ordinance. Unfortunately, the Board of Zoning Adjustment failed to deliberate and follow the rules that they have adopted and are in force, and granted the variance for the business. I understand they were. I understand that.
Are we admitting that somehow the city is violating the rules?
I'm only pointing out is that there was a variance granted that did not follow the rules.
The application did not.
Correct. And so this is a precipitation of that, recognizing that we're likely to have more requests for conflict and exceedance of the code. And so this is a step that should have been here a couple of months ago, and I'm not criticizing staff for this, but that was the proper solution for that dilemma. Unfortunately, the Board of Zoning Adjustment caved and failed to follow their own procedures in processing it. So I would make a motion to...
Can I, just one second, I'd just like to point out that we already grant minor modifications to the heights of building, maybe increased up to 10%. We have setback situations for residential homes where staff already has, the authority to grant modifications to that. So we're basically just adding this
latitude.
Ability to do the same thing with the size of signs. So this is something we're already granting to the staff of the city.
I would make a motion to move forward for a third and final reading of the ordinance.
To suspend the rules?
Yeah.
Suspend the rules.
Is there a second?
Second.
That was Mr. Wilms and Mr. Fowler. Roll call vote on the motion to go to third and final reading.
Council Member Snow,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. I'll read it again. Amending Section 109.42 variances of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to permit administrative review and approval of the increase in size of permanent signs up to 10% and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Mr. Wilms and Mr. Fowler. Roll call vote.
Council Member Hanschel,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Snow,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Next ordinance is amending Section 109-185 docks, boathouses, and dockside recreational improvements of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to remove the city-imposed restriction on the number of docks, boathouses, or dockside recreational improvements allowed per parcel and for other purposes. And staff requested going to third and final on this. The POA, Mr. Judson was here at the work session and explained how POA was adjusting their rules regarding this.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and move to third and final.
Second.
That was Mr. Fowler and Mr. Wozniak. Roll call vote.
Council Member Snow,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
and Hanschel.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0 to go to third and final, so I'll read it for third and final. Amending Section 109-185 docks, boathouses, and dockside recreational improvements of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Bella Vista to remove the city-imposed restriction on the number of docks, boathouses, or dockside recreational improvements allowed per parcel and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Mr. Wilms and Mr. Wozniak. Roll call vote.
Council Member Hanschel,
Yes. Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Snow,
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Next one is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a 3-year lease contract with Stronghold Data LLC in an amount not to exceed $32,540.61 for the lease of Dell computers and associated equipment. Is there any discussion?
Question.
Motion to approve.
I have a question.
Oh,
The question would be, is that, I'm assuming that all of the computers that our staff uses is a part of this 3-year lease program over 3 years. So there might be a third of them this year, and a third of them the next year, and a third of them the next year. Is that right?
yeah, I asked John Mokel the other day how many computers this was, and he said it was 31. So, yeah, he's got them rotating. So,
1993 then would be roughly the number of staff that have computers at their workstation or whatever.
yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, what the total number is.
It seems like a cheap price to me.
Yeah, so,
Move to approve.
Second.
that was Mr. Wilms and Mr. Fowler. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Snow,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
No, you're correct. That does seem like
Seems like a bargain price.
yeah.
Next one is a resolution approving a code enforcement officer policy for the police department. And you had the policy attached. He was, it's a requirement that council approve the policy. And of course, some adjustments were made to it because of the changes in personnel. So, any discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Wilms. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Hughes,
Yes.
Wozniak,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Snow,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Next one is resolution approving an organizational chart for inclusion in policy for the police department. And that was sort of a tree chart that shows the different departments and how they all fit together. Any discussion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Was Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Fowler. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Wozniak,
Yes.
Hanschel,
Yes.
Snow,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Wilms,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Announcements, the next city council work session will be 5:30 p.m. July 17 at the Bella Vista District Court. Next city council regular meeting is 6:30 p.m. Monday, July 24, same location. Planning Commission work session is 4:30 p.m. Thursday, June 29 at Bella Vista District Court. Planning Commission regular meeting is 4:30 p.m. Monday, July 10 at Bella Vista District Court. And the Board of Construction Appeals is 3 p.m. Tuesday, July 11, if necessary, at Bella Vista District Court. So I do have to cite the fact that we seem like one big happy family with all these 6-0 votes tonight. So, anyway, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you.